Welcome once again to the Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I am, of course, your host, professional wrestler Henry Huge-Pecs, the Suplex-Throwing human duplex, aka Triv Morgan. And thank you all for tuning in to episode number 2. And because we have a guest here who's up very late, I'm just going to dive right in. So joining me this week, first of all, here to defend his trivia title, which he won on our debut episode last time around from the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. Welcome back to the show, our reigning, defending trivia champion, Sal. And Sal, would you care to plug the Rundown again, since that is your duty as the returning champion?
Okay. Yes. So I'm part of the Rundown Wrestling Network. We have different wrestling podcasts that cover all types of wrestling. We have covered WWE, NXT, AEW, NXT UK, even Stardom over in Japan. So we have a show for any one of your tastes. Definitely check us out on rundownwrestling.com or any of your podcast apps. And I'm very happy to be here to defend my title today.
Excellent. I'm happy to have you back. And see, that's why Sal is the reigning champion, because his network covers literally every wrestling show in existence. So, but with that being said, our very first challenger is here as well. And he is from across the pond, I should say, in Derby, England, not to be confused with Darby Allin. He's nice enough to join us after midnight over there in the UK because he's a goddamn trooper. And he is none other than Mr. Carl Bryan. I assume no relation to Daniel. But Carl, now, you're a fan of the Raw Attitude podcast and the Rundown, correct? You are not a podcaster as of yet.
I am a podcaster. I'm not a wrestling podcaster, though.
Well, let's hear it. By all means, plug away.
I'm on a couple. I'm on a show called Shipwrecked and Comatose, which is a recap show of the television show Red Dwarf. And I also have a show called Cerebral Jukebox, where I interview guests about songs that have been stuck in their heads during their lives and the sort of stories behind that. So yeah, I'm on a couple, but I'm not on a wrestling one yet. Eventually I will do, I think, though.
The Red Dwarf part is very, very British of you, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I knew I had some friends in the States who watched Red Dwarf because they would get it on DVD or whatever. I never made the plunge in there, but I assume it's a very good show because it's gotten a following, at least among people I know over here, and I had never heard of it until they mentioned it. So, on that note, though, since you mentioned songs that are stuck in your head, do you have a particular one that's stuck in your head right now?
I've been listening to one recently. I actually heard it on an AEW episode, and I Shazammed it, and it's a track called Holy Water by the Funeral Portrait, and it's just got a big, I like big choruses, so it's just got this massive chorus. I think I heard it over one of the many How Great Cody Rhodes Is montages that AEW Dynamite does seem to have.
Many
Sal,
montages.
Yeah, Sal's the AEW Rundown host. He knows all about that, so fantastic. I assume you're both very excited for Cody to wrestle Shaq soon, so yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yes, it will. For interesting is probably a good way of putting it. But whether that's a good interesting or a bad interesting remains to be seen. Sal, I assume you're very excited about that being the AEW Rundown host.
It's must-see TV to see who botches first.
My money would definitely be on Shaq, I think. I think so.
I don't know. You see some of the girls in that match?
Yeah.
It is a mixed tag.
I think Cody's really the only one who has actual ring experience there. I guess Red Velvet kind of does too, but I don't know. Or Shaq, wasn't Shaq in like a Battle Royal at WrestleMania or something? Or
there's a lot of shoving from what I remember in that Battle Royal.
Yeah, it was him and Big Show. That's right. Anyway, so we'll see about that. But as for now, are you guys ready to get into the Wrestling Trivia Challenge, I should say?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Perfect. So as always, we're going to start with our first round called Listomania. I say as always like you've had 50 episodes, but we're going to start with Listomania in case you need a reminder on how that's played. I give the contestants a topic, and they must then take turns listing out answers one at a time. So as soon as an incorrect answer is given or that contestant times out, the other contestant will be given a chance to provide as many as 3 more answers. So each answer is worth 1 point. You'll have 10 seconds to provide an answer before you run out of time. So are we clear on the rules there so far?
Yeah.
Yes,
I know Sal is because he's played a billion times. Perfect. So with that being said, Sal, since you're the reigning champion, you can go first. And your topic this week, let me just pull up my phone because I'm going to have to time you.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been prepared ahead of time. I apologize. But I'm going to have to time you on here, Sal. So your very first topic. In the history of the WWE Men's Royal Rumble, there have been 26 winners. I will need you to name one, and then Carl, and we'll go back and forth. So, Sal, starting with you, who is a Royal Rumble winner?
Roman Reigns.
Correct. And back to Carl.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, you're going with the very first one. There you go. Chronological order. That is correct. Sal, back to you.
Edge.
Edge is correct. 2-time winner now. Back to Carl.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. You have another 2-time winner. You guys are listing a couple multi-time winners here. This is good. Back to Sal.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, again, a multi-time winner. Yep. And back to Carl.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Definitely not a multi-time winner yet, and I think we all forgot that he won it in the first place. But yes, back to Sal.
Drew McIntyre.
There you go. Up until recently, the most recent winner. Back to Carl as well.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker, yes. Surprisingly, only won one time, but yes, The Undertaker is correct. And back to Sal.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, yep, another 2-time winner. Back to back. And Carl.
Triple H.
Triple H, yes. The longest gap in between wins, by the way, 2002 and 2016. 14 years in between, even longer than Edge, for those of you scoring at home. Back to Sal.
Let's go with Yokozuna.
Yokozuna is correct. Very good. And back to Carl once again.
Sheamus.
Yes. One of the ones I still makes me a little angry, but that's okay. Back to Sal.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart is correct. Yes. And back to Carl once again.
Big John Studd.
There you go. All right. Deep pull. Very good. Yes. The second ever winner, I believe. And back to you again, Sal.
Lex Luger.
That's right. Well, you named Bret Hart. You got to name Luger, too, of course. Co-winners in 94. And back to Carl.
Steve Austin.
Yeah, of course. There you go. The only 3-time winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin. There you go. And once again, back to Sal.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, nice. Some might say the best Royal Rumble. And back to Carl once again.
Batista.
But yes, twice, 2-time winner. Hard to believe, but yes, Batista won it twice. And back to Sal again.
John Cena.
John Cena, yes, of course, another multi-time winner. Very good. And back to Carl again. Yeah, 3 seconds.
No, it's gone. Gone.
Out of time. I'm sorry. So, Sal, I'm going to give you 15 seconds to name as many as 3 more.
Okay. Seth Rollins.
Oh,
correct.
Hold on. Seth Rollins. Oh my God, I had it. And now, Vince McMahon.
Correct. The oldest winner.
Okay. And Chris Benoit.
Your time is up.
No, I said Benoit.
Is correct. That was
Benoit.
Okay. After the buzzer.
Oh,
but yes, that is correct. I'll add Benoit to the list there. So the ones you missed in the only 40-man Rumble, Alberto Del Rio. The one I was there live for in 2003, Brock Lesnar. We also had, Rey Mysterio, who I believe still holds the record for longest time in the Rumble. The Rock in 2000. We also had, that's it, actually. You got almost all of them. So very, very good. So there you go. Sal with the lead at the moment, I should say. But I have a chance to catch up here, Carl, because one more round of Listomania. And the next round in the history, and Carl, you'll get to go first on this one, obviously, because Sal won first the first time. So, Carl, you get to lead this one off. In history, there have been 15 wrestlers who have been part of the 4 Horsemen. Now, this is just wrestlers, not valets, not J.J. Dillon, just wrestlers. So, Carl, I'm going to need you to start off by giving me a name.
Sid Vicious.
It's nice. There you go. Very good.
Ric Flair.
And back to Sal. Ric Flair. There you go. And back to Carl again.
Arn Anderson.
Of course. Yes, the Enforcer. And back to Sal.
Tully Blanchard.
Tully Blanchard, yeah. What's he doing these days? Apparently wrestling next week. Anyway, back to Carl.
Barry Windham.
Barry Windham, yes, absolutely. Once again, back to Sal.
Ole Anderson.
Ole Anderson, yes, the other Anderson. No relation in real life. Back to Carl.
Paul Roma.
Well, yeah, of course. Some might say the greatest horseman. No, nobody says that. Back to you, Sal.
Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman, very nice. Good call. And back to Carl.
Chris Benoit.
Yes, indeed. But I just realized I've had two categories where Benoit was an answer this week. That's yikes. Anyway, back to Sal.
Steve Mongo McMichaels.
Of course, yes. Mongo McMichael is correct. And back to Carl again.
Dean Malenko.
Yes, very good. Dean Malenko is correct. And back to Sal.
Sting.
Sting, yes, there we are. Man, going blow for blow here. Damn, you guys are good. Back to Carl again. We're running out of names.
Are we counting Jeff Jarrett?
We are indeed counting Jeff Jarrett. Yes, technically he was a horseman. So now I will say there are only two names left, Sal. Can you give me one of those two?
Lex Luger.
Wow, very good. That is correct. And there is one final name. And Carl, if you can get this, I will be very impressed. One final name on the list.
Do we count J.J. Dillon because he did wrestle?
We do not count J.J. Dillon.
Okay.
And time is up there. Sal, do you know what the final name is?
No.
And your time is up. I'm sorry. Would it help if I told you he joined very briefly and then turned on them at Fall Brawl 97?
Oh, Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
Kurt Hennig, exactly. There you go. That's.
Was
I don't blame you
technically a
for
member
forgetting
for a
that
couple
one.
weeks.
He was. He absolutely was. So I don't blame you for forgetting that one. That was a tough one. But after the first round, let me tally the points here. Looks like we got 12 plus 7. So right now, Sal, you're sitting on 19. And Carl, looks like we got 9 plus 7 is 16. So after the first round of Listomania, Sal is in the lead, 19 to 16. But Carl, you will have a chance to catch up in the next round, which is, of course, 3-for-all. And I will point out, Sal was trailing after Listomania last week and after 3-for-all. So don't worry, Carl. You're still very much alive in this. And this week, I'm going to let Carl go first in 3-for-all because, Sal, you went first in Listomania. I know, Carl, you bounced back to it, but to be fair, I'll let you start around because you are the challenger. So 3-for-all, of course, for those of you who don't know the rules, give you a quick explanation. We're going to get 4 rounds with 3 categories in each round. The person will pick one of those categories, and whichever 2 are not chosen get rolled over to the next episode. So you'll see some familiar ones this week. When you pick a category, you'll get the choice of answering questions worth either 1, 2, or 3 points. Obviously, the higher the points, the tougher the question. If you get it wrong, your opponent can attempt to steal for the same number of points. So, Carl, here in round 1, you get to choose from one of these 3 categories. So we have forcible entry, questions about the WCW invasion of the WWF. After that, we have 1 + 1 = 2 zeros, where I give you the names of 2 wrestlers and you tell me which forgettable tag team they formed. And then finally, we have a category about Chris Benoit's toughest opponent, which is, of course, Psychosis. The wrestler Psychosis. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but
I will take forcible entry, please.
Nice. Okay. Now, would you like a 1, a 2, or a 3?
2, please.
A 2. Okay. So your 2-point question on forcible entry. At Survivor Series 2001, which member of the Alliance won the Immunity Battle Royal, ensuring that he would have a job no matter which faction was victorious?
Test.
Test is correct. There you go. That'll be 2 points for you. Now, Sal, you get to go. Do you want a 1 or a 3?
I hate this category. I'm not going to be good at it, but I'll take a 1.
A 1. Okay. It's painful memories for me too, Sal. So the biggest money-making angle potentially of all time, and they squandered. Anyway, so here's your 1-point question, Sal. Which longtime ECW superstar made his WWF debut at the Invasion pay-per-view in July 2001, defeating Jeff Hardy for the Hardcore title?
Rob Van Dam.
Correct. Yes, indeed. Rob Van Dam. And now we'll go to the three-pointer, Carl. So we're going back to you. On May 28th, 2001, which wrestler was the first WCW superstar to invade the WWF by interfering in a tag match on Raw and super kicking Perry Saturn?
Lance Storm.
That is correct. Very good. Okay. That'll be 3 more points for you there. So Carl catching up. So now, Sal, it'll be your turn to pick, and you'll get the choice from these 3 categories. So our next round, hammer, nails, screw. Questions about Greg, the Hammer Valentine, nails, and Bret Hart. After that, we have hell in their cells, about wrestlers who survived cancer. And yes, I can make that joke because I'm a cancer survivor. And your third category here is you gone to be joking me. Questions about Kamala.
Let's go hammer, nails, screw.
Fair enough. Now, would you like the 1, the 2, or the 3?
I will take the 2.
The 2. Okay. Hammer, nails, screw. For 2 points, Sal. After the Montreal screw job, which Gang Wars stable leader quit the WWF out of protest?
Crush.
That is correct. Yes, he did. And I should mention, too, I don't think I even mentioned this, but I'm timing you guys on 15 seconds per question, but you've been getting in there quickly, so it hasn't been an issue. So from there, Carl, do you want the 1 or the 3 on hammer, nails, screw?
Oh, let's go for the 3. Let's try the
3.
3.
Very good. Okay. So, Carl, in 1985, Greg Valentine proceeded to destroy the Intercontinental title after he lost it in a cage match to which wrestler?
Tito Santana?
Tito Santana is correct. Very good. Wow. Okay. That was an old school question, too. Still got it. All right. And Sal, you'll get the first crack at the last question here. And that is, Nails and the Big Boss Man culminated their feud at Survivor Series 1992 in what kind of match?
A nightstick on a pole match.
That is correct. Yes, a nightstick match. Okay. Very good. We continue on to the next round of 3 for all. Round 3. And of course, Carl, this will be your category this time around. So you get to choose Kiss Me D'Lo the Brown Spot, questions about D'Lo Brown, or you can go with Now Can You Dig That, questions about Paul Bearer. And of course, you can choose female wrestlers from Asia, questions about Asuka, who is Japanese, Xia Li, who is Chinese, and the Bella Twins, who used to be Siamese.
I'll take the D'Lo Brown category, please.
Went a long way for that joke, but thank you. Okay. We'll go with the D'Lo Brown. And do you want the 1, the 2, or the 3?
I'll take the 2, please.
The 2. All right. So what was the name of the tag team that D'Lo formed with Chaz in the year 2000?
Lowdown.
Correct. Yes. Very good. Who could forget Lowdown? Sal, do you want the 1 or the 3?
Let's go for the 3.
Oh, there you go. Ballsy. I like it. So, Sal, which wrestler was responsible for tearing D'Lo's pectoral muscle in the summer of 1998, providing the reason for him to begin wearing his famous chest protector?
That would be Kane.
Kane is incorrect. Carl, do you know the answer to heel?
It's Dan the Beast Severn.
It was Dan the Beast Severn. Very good. Wow. As covered on the Raw Attitude podcast, might I add. So, Carl, you stole that one, and you get the first crack at the final one here, the 1-pointer. In 2003, Teddy Long fired D'Lo from his group, Thuggin' and Buggin' Enterprises, and replaced him with what wrestler?
Rodney Mack?
Rodney Mack is correct, yes. Thuggin' and Buggin' on Whitey. Who can forget? Who can forget that? Okay, so Sal, the final round, and you'll get the choice from these 3 categories. We have the Murdering Hawk Monster, questions about Darren Drozdov, who once tried to murder Hawk. After that, we have Funk Me Funk Me, questions about Terry Funk, Flash Funk, and the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay. And of course, we have painful tug jobs, questions about matches which Fred Ottman lost. Tug jobs.
Yeah, we're definitely not doing that one. Let's go with Funk Me.
All right. You didn't put the accent on it, but that's okay. So do you want the 1, the 2, or the 3?
I'll take the 3.
Okay. All right. I like it. Sal. And this category might be up your alley because I think you're a fan of ECW. But so Sal, who did Terry Funk defeat at ECW's first pay-per-view, Barely Legal 97, to win the ECW Heavyweight Championship?
That would be Raven.
That would be Raven. Very good. Okay. Going for the 3 paid off there. Carl, do you want the 1 or the 2?
The 2, please.
The 2. Okay. Very good. So the 2-point question here. Brodus Clay's Somebody Call My Mama theme song was previously used by what wrestler in the WWE prior to him?
Was it Ernest Miller?
It was Ernest Miller, yes. Ernest Miller, a very brief period of time in the WWE, but his theme song got to live on. And Sal, the final question here. What did Flash Funk call the women who accompanied him to the ring?
They were the Funkettes.
They were the Funkettes? Very good. Okay. So there you go. 3 for all is complete. You guys, I think you got every answer there combined. That was amazing. So Sal, I'm gonna add points to your score here, and I'm gonna add to Carl's as well. Okay. So Sal, in 3 for all, you scored 8 points, which gives you a total of 27. Carl, you scored a whopping 16 points in 3 for all, which brings you up to 32. So you have taken the lead going into the final round. Sal, this is a familiar position, though. You did pull it out last week, remember. So right now, Carl, you are up 32 to 27, and we're going to go into the final round. It's going to be the same format as last week. I will explain. First, what I want you to do in your Zoom screens, I'm going to need you to change your chat settings. You can see at the bottom where it says chat, kind of front and center. Mm-hmm. If you could. At the bottom there, it says to everyone. I need you to change from everyone to just me.
Okay.
All right. Make sure it comes just to me. And of course, the reason for this is because I'm going to ask you to privately chat me how many points you're willing to wager on this final question. You can wager any or all of the points you've earned. As a reminder, Sal, you have 27. Carl, you have 32. But before you lock in those wagers, I'm going to tell you what your category is. Your category for this final round is WrestleMania rematches. So you can now chat me the number of points you are willing to wager. Okay. All right, I have Sal's and I have Carl's as well. Okay. So with that being said, and again, make sure you keep those chat settings just on me because you are going to privately chat me your answer here as well. Don't say it out loud. Privately chat it to me when I read the question. You will have 30 seconds once I read the question again about WrestleMania rematches. And here is your final question. The first ever WrestleMania rematch occurred at WrestleMania 4. I need you to name that rematch, and your 30 seconds will start now. Okay, I guess you didn't need 30 seconds because you both got your answers in immediately. So never mind. We'll just go straight to the final question here. So Sal, you were trailing. Your answer, you chatted to me. Your answer was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. And funny enough, Carl Bryan chatted, I should say, the exact same answer. And guess what? You're both correct. I thought that would be tougher than it was, but you both got it exactly right. So that goes to the wagering. Sal, you wagered all of your points, which will take you up to 54. And Carl, you wagered 20 of your possible 32, which takes you to 52. So Sal, you did pull it out at the end there, narrowly. Man, Carl, I feel bad for you, man, because you rocked that game.
You did, man.
At the end there, Sal narrowly pulled it out there with a 2-point win. Can I just say though, Carl, if you would like to come back on at another time when I've exhausted my list of contestants, because I'm trying to be fair and go through everybody, but that was such an impressive showing that
thank you.
I think it would be good to have you back if you'd be willing to do it. I know it's past your bedtime, but if you'd be willing to do it.
Yes, I'd love to come back on. No, thank you.
Fantastic. Did you have fun at least?
I really did. I really enjoyed that. Congratulations, so well done. Well played.
Fantastic.
Carl, my hat's off to you.
Comeback kid 2 weeks in a row.
Carl, my hat's off to you though, because there was a lot of questions that you got right. I had no idea the answers to.
Yeah. When we got into 3-for-all and Carl was just killing it, I was like, man, this is not looking good for Sal right here. But because Carl, you did such a phenomenal showing here, I'm gonna let you get a final word here. And Sal, you'll obviously get the final word, but I'll let Carl. If you want to plug something else, if you want to plug what you already plugged, by all means, feel free to go ahead.
I'll plug where people can find my bits and bobs, because I do lots of little things. I have a site of allmylinks.com/Mr. Carl, and I've got all the things I do on there, so it's much easier if anyone asks me what I'm doing to just send them there instead.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. And I could probably, what was it? All my links. What was it?
allmylinks.com and then /Mr. Carl, same as my Twitter.
Perfect. I'll do that when I put up the episode listing. I'll put that in the episode description so people can just click on over and see what you're up to. And Sal, once again, 2-time champion now, Sal. Pulled it out by the skin of your teeth. Would you like to get a final plug on the rundown again, or plug anything else you're working on, whatever you want?
You can come listen to me every week. Myself and Adam, who was the first contestant on this show, take care of the AEW rundown and talk about AEW in the week that was. And then also I'm on a variety of other shows. I'm going to be on the WWE rundown again to talk about the Elimination Chamber and everything that was wrong with it. But also check out rundownwrestling.com. Go back in the archives. My favorite podcast that I did was a solo show called WrestleMania Salvation, where I take a look at every WrestleMania that has occurred. Sometimes I had a guest. Henry, you were kind enough to join me for a couple of those episodes. Those are all going to be in the archives.
7, I think.
Yep, 7 and
30. Yeah.
Yes, we had very different opinions about Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. I still have, after seeing him make Randy Orton vomit up some black blood the other day, I definitely have some opinions, but I'll keep that. I'll keep that to myself anyway. But congratulations once again, Sal. And of course, if you at home would like to add your list to the ever-growing name of people who would like to be a contestant, because I've actually had a good amount of people reach out, which is really cool. So I can't say who your opponent is going to be yet, Sal. I've had some people reach out. I'm hoping to get a few people on. We'll see. But you're going to have an opponent next time around. So again, thank you very much, Carl, for staying up well into the night over there. I hope we can have you back on again, because that was a phenomenal performance. And Sal, congratulations. 2-time champion now. You are currently the record holder. This may be like a Undertaker-esque streak by the time it's done. We'll see. Maybe you can go 20, what is it, 20-0, 21-0, whatever it was. Yeah, 21 before you lost. Yeah. So we'll see. But congratulations, Sal. Thanks for coming, Carl. And
thank you.
We'll catch you next time on the show.